Harvard is hitting back at the Trump administration with a new lawsuit following the government's ban on international admissions to the university. The school now asking a judge to immediately block the move by the Department of Homeland Security. Under the order, those students already enrolled must now transfer to another school or lose their legal status here in the United States, something one Chinese student describes as devastating. Listen.
So basically, it's a mixture of like shock, then to kind of just, devastation, like frustration, and then uncertainty, anxiety. It's a combination of all of those feelings, I would say, among students in the community right now.
Department of Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem says the order comes after Harvard refused to turn over records of foreign students, and she warns other universities should take notice. Let's bring in CNN crime and justice correspondent Katelyn Polantz. She's here with me in the Situation Room. Katelyn, what more can you tell us about this lawsuit?
Well, Wolf, this may be the big one. The administration of Donald Trump versus one of the most significant cultural institutions in the United States, academic institution, Harvard University. This is a case where Harvard says what the administration has already done yesterday by revoking its ability to have foreign students as part of its programs on campus, that it is an immediate and devastating effect to this university. They say there are more than 7,000 students on their campus with visas, many of them expecting to come back to campus in the summer and fall semesters, starting now, essentially, starting in the next couple weeks, in the next couple months, and that the immediate effect is going to be on academic programs, research laboratories, clinics, and courses that Harvard has. They say there's going to be thrown into disarray. And if Harvard loses its ability to have international students, if they must either transfer out of the university or leave the United States, which they say that's what the effect is right now, without international students, quote, Harvard is not Harvard. So this suit is very fast moving. The administration is saying that they should be able to do this because allowing a university to enroll foreign students is a privilege, not a right. The administration is very unhappy with Harvard over its allowance of having protests on its campus, things like that. The Department of Homeland Security does have a statement in response to the lawsuit so far. They say this lawsuit seeks to kneecap the president's constitutional vested powers under Article 2. What that means, the president's the president. He should be able to do what he wants here on visas, immigration, even related to this university. Harvard, in response, says this retaliatory action threatens serious harm to the Harvard community and our country and undermines Harvard's academic and research mission. Their argument in court is that it's a constitutional encroachment of their ability to decide what their curriculum is and what they do as a university. This has, just a few minutes ago, I just looked, already been assigned to a judge, Judge Allison Burroughs. She's an Obama appointee on the federal court in Massachusetts, and we are waiting to see exactly what happens next. There could be a lot here, a lot quickly.
As soon as you're here, let us know. This is obviously a very significant development. And when we're talking about foreign students now being barred from attending Harvard University, according to the Trump administration, we're talking about foreign students from all over the world, not just from China or from India, but from friendly allied countries in Europe or even Israel, for example. No more Israeli students would be allowed to go to Harvard, right?
That's right. And the way that Harvard describes it, it's literally everybody with an F1 or a J1 visa. So the students that are coming in and studying there, they say it also doesn't just affect those people on campus, more than 7,000, Harvard says, but it also affects their families, their children, more than 300 people that they say are now in immediate jeopardy and have to make a choice. And we've already heard, as there was that student at the that you referred to earlier that was speaking, that they are very, very horrified about what is happening here.
Yeah, they can't believe this is happening here in the United States of America. All right, Katelyn Polantz, thank you very much for that update. As soon as you get word from the court, let us know the latest on that. Right now, we're joined by the former president of Harvard University. He was the president for 5 years, Larry Summers. Larry, thanks so much for joining us. I know you call this move by the Trump administration against Harvard, and I'm quoting you now, the stuff of tyranny. And you say Harvard must start resisting. The university just announced it's suing to try to block this order from the Trump administration. How would you respond if you were still leading Harvard?
University's doing just the right thing. This is extortion. It's a vendetta using all powers of the government because of a political argument with Harvard. It is violating the First Amendment. It is also violating all the laws we have regarding administrative procedures. Look, Wolf, I've been on your show many times, and I've often been critical of Harvard on aspects relating to identity politics, anti-Semitism, and much more. But that's not what this is about. This is about a vicious attack to pursue a personal agenda. And the consequences, whether it's students who are dissidents from tyrannies who are going to be sent home and possibly be imprisoned, whether it's labs that are fighting cancer and diabetes that are going to lose key people, whether it's 7,000 people, some small fraction of whom are going to go on to be prime ministers of countries who've been turned into enemies of the United States, whether it is the way in which America is seen when it expels people whose dream was to come to Harvard to study. This is madness. You know, the president and his administration have made a big deal, and they've been right, about Israel and anti-Semitism. Sending every Israeli student out of Harvard is much more discriminatory against Israelis and is much more discriminatory against Jews than anything they have complained about. I have thought I was done being surprised by how low the Trump administration would go, but I am surprised by what has happened. I am proud of Harvard's president, Alan Garber, for his leadership and for this lawsuit. If we are a country of law, and I deeply believe we still are, Harvard will prevail in this lawsuit, and I hope and trust it will prevail quickly. Think about the families coming from all over the world for our graduation a week from now, people being stopped at airports, people who devoted their lives to making it possible for their kids to go to Harvard and to see them graduate, now being told that somehow this is all being stopped because of a vendetta against Harvard. I'm sorry, I just can't quite believe that this is happening in the United States.
It certainly is hard to believe. One international Harvard student, Larry, says he and other foreign students are now feeling, and I'm quoting now, pure panic. Now, you're the former president of Harvard University. What message do you have for them, for those students who are now being kicked out of the United States?
Everyone at Harvard has your back. We are going to fight in every way we can in the courts with the support that can be provided financially to make this work for you. The President of the United States is a very tough enemy, and so we can't promise what every result is going to be, but know that there are things where there's argument and division in the university. Opposition to this is not something where there is any division. And I think that I am still hopeful that justice and common sense will prevail.
China says this ban will only tarnish America's image and reputation around the world. And on Chinese social media, people wrote things like, quote, "It's fun to watch them destroy their own strength, and recruiting international students is the main way to attract top talent." What kind of long-term damage could this move have on the U.S.?
Look, we have always thought that a huge strength of the United States was what my late colleague Joe Nye called soft power, the power of our example. The fact that people from all over the world didn't want to go study in China, they wanted to go study in the United States. The fact that the books, the movies, the songs, that we were the technologies, that we were the source of attraction for people from all over the world. When we do our very best to undo that, when we emulate Chinese totalitarianism, where the government is censoring and stomping on universities, we are ceding one of our greatest advantages. I cannot imagine a greater strategic gift that we could be giving to China, that we could be giving to the enemies of freedom around the world.